Well, thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much, Addison, for joining us. First of all, Daniel, how are you?
I'm doing good, you?
I'm excellent, man. And Addison, how about you? How are you feeling?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm very well. You guys are both U.S. youth ambassadors for Special Olympics. Addison, let me pose this question to you first. What does that exactly mean? Fill the audience in.
Just kind of like being able to show and display the importance, I guess, of being able to influence others on the meaning of inclusion and getting people more aware of what we do, especially on the youth side, and how important it is to start at a younger age and work your way up as the older you get to hopefully have more of an audience and more of a growth and understanding as people get older.
And Daniel, I know you're a huge sports fan. We're going to get into your sports fandom later on. What does being a youth ambassador mean to you?
It means a lot. Like, being a youth ambassador is like representing your country, representing your state. And it is something that I'm proud of, that I'm representing the state of Kansas as someone special.
Well, you both are certainly special. And I got to get this out here. We mentioned this already. You guys both represent Kansas. Are y'all done celebrating the championship, or is there still more celebrating after the Super Bowl?
I feel like there's always celebrating, especially here. Every day there's someone else just like cheering or posting or celebrating, especially after the parade being yesterday.
And Daniel, what about you? Are you done celebrating, or are you just ready for another Chiefs Super Bowl?
I'm ready for another Super Bowl because I'm ready to get hype.
I can dig it, man. There's nothing like a good time. Well, let me ask you all this. We have so many listeners who are familiar with Special Olympics. We have folks who are learning more about Special Olympics. Let me ask you, or pose this question to you, Addison. What got you involved with Special Olympics?
So I started in sixth grade, but before that, I actually have an uncle with Down syndrome. And so I've just kind of like always been around it and aware of what Special Olympics was, just like growing up and going to his events and stuff. But one of my teachers in sixth grade, I'm on an IEP too, and she was like, hey, there's this really cool thing called unified sports. You want to get involved? And I'm like, let's do it. That sounds awesome. And so I just kind of did it, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm like, this is actually amazing, and I love it. And so I've just kind of gone from there. So now being a senior, definitely a lot of growth, and just like my resource teacher kind of got me involved in the YAC and then into the national board too. So it's kind of really cool to see it all grow over the past few years.
Explain to all of us. We'll talk about unified sports. Explain to us what YAC is.
So YAC is the Youth Activation Committee, and that is for people in high school groups, so grades from ninth grade all the way up until 12th grade, where you kind of just get to represent your state doing different things, whether that be Instagram wise, going out to different community of helping set up fundraisers. So just like a youth's perspective on helping on the Special Olympics side.
Daniel, what got you involved with Special Olympics? What sports do you participate in? What's your favorite sport? What got you involved?
So what got me involved is my family, and I am very athletic, and my family just enjoys sports, period. What got me involved with Special Olympics is just the support of my family.
What are your favorite sports? What do you play?
I play bocce, soccer, unified bowling, and soccer, and a lot of other sports too.
I'm sure. You said you're very athletic. Of course, you play a lot of sports. Addison, you mentioned unified sports. I'm familiar with unified sports. Explain unified sports to our listeners who aren't as familiar.
So the best way to put it is it's a group of people with disabilities and without disabilities, whether that be physical, mental, intellectual, whatever. And you kind of just like get together in a group setting and play sports together and work on different skills and abilities. So like for my school, we do basketball, bocce, and soccer. So it's just a group of us and we help the kids play basketball. A lot of them are usually better than me, but just kind of like being able to like have that sports aspect and be able to compete and go to competitions with like a team.
Daniel, do you have a favorite memory from a sport that you participated in? Do you have something that really stands out to you?
I have lots of them, and one of my best memories is in basketball, Special Olympics, and unified basketball. Is I was going down the court. It was the final seconds of the game. I shot a 3-point shot and drill it for the game winner.
You're just the walking Steph Curry. Is that what it is?
I'm like a Steph Curry.
Why not? We need another Steph Curry. He's getting a little older, so why don't we put you as the next one, Daniel? I like that. Addison, what about you? Is there a memory that stands out from everything that you've done and participated in?
I work with one of the people that I'm partnered with is disabled in the way that he's in a wheelchair and nonverbal. And so just like kind of like I feel like that relationship that I've grown with him to be able to communicate and just like be able to see the needs and the wants of how he plays and how he is able to handle the game in different kinds of scenarios, I think is probably like the most memorable, just because like the growth that he has come since like 5 years ago till now and just like how much I've grown with him, I think is really cool.
There are so many different things that we learn by working with people who we aren't around all the time, whether it's friends or whether it's family. Daniel, what do you want to share about your experience with Special Olympics? Why should people want to learn more? Why should they try to be involved?
Yes, so my experience, I was in high school last year. My high school is very excited about sports, and they just involve everyone. That's what Charleston schools do. They involve everyone, no matter if you have disability or not. They are just very inclusive, very lovable, and very caring to anyone. And especially to me, because I spoke at every assembly from freshman year to senior year, which was last year in 2022. And they started changing my name, like started saying "We Love Daniel." And ever since then, every time I walk up, I hear that "We Love Daniel" chant, and that I just think that I just have that feeling in me that this is my chance, this is my opportunity to show my skill that I am the true me.
You are. Listening to you speak, what does inclusion mean to you, Daniel?
Inclusion means so much to me because this is how I met all my really good friends, and well, not all my really good friends, but most of them, because they are just awesome people and they just bring so much energy to whichever game. And I am part of a program called the Ramsey County program, and that is also like Special Olympics, but even more energy. And I just love Special Olympics so much that I just can't thank them enough.
Addison, tell me about your interaction with Daniel. You guys are both in the Kansas City area, championship area. Talk about the first time that you guys actually met and interacted.
So like I said, it was on our way to Washington, D.C. last year for a youth summit. And it was a little like shy at first because I'm like, I've always heard of Daniel. I've seen him on Zooms, but I've never met him in person. But he's just like this great, bubbly, like super talkative guy. And just like that whole plane ride, we just kind of like got to sit there and like got to talk to each other, got to know each other a little bit. And he knows everything there is to know about sports. That is the one thing that I learned. He's so passionate about it. And just like the way he is with his words and like everything that he says is so meaningful and like impacting not only on like his family and friends, but I feel like a lot of people around him.
There's a cool campaign going on right now, spreadtheword.global. I want to get into that. You guys can explain it to me. But Addison, you mentioned that Daniel is a huge sports fan. Daniel, what are your favorite teams?
My favorite teams are the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously, the Seattle Seahawks, Carolina Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning, the Golden State Warriors, and they're champions, and I'm a champion, and everyone's a champion. Everyone has to be a champion.
It's a match made in heaven. Well,
yes.
Daniel, I'm unfortunately a fan of the New York Jets. Do you have any advice for my New York Jets? What do the Jets need to be doing right now?
Find a quarterback that knows how to play football.
You're accurate. That's Zach Wilson is still learning. So do you believe the New York Jets should get someone like Aaron Rodgers? Is that a good idea?
I think they should hang on to Zach Wilson and let him keep learning how to play.
Yeah. I think at this point, I can probably teach Zach Wilson how to play. Sorry. I said it. Addison, what sports do you keep up with? I know you play a little bit of everything. Do you have any favorite teams?
No, honestly, like I'm a runner personally. So like I just keep up a lot with more like running stuff. But I mean, Chiefs fan because I'm from Kansas. It's about it. Soccer. I'll watch a lot of soccer, but I don't really have like a favorite team or favorite person or anything. Kind of like I'll watch it all.
Soccer and football happens to be the most popular sport on earth. So
that is true.
There's no Mbappe, no Cristiano Ronaldo, no Messi. No.
I don't know. I think they're all good. I mean, they all have like their own different like techniques and talent, but like I don't think there's one that necessarily is like a lot more better than the other, or like stands out more. I mean, they all have like their own different abilities and skills and stuff. So,
well, as Daniel said, everybody is a star. Addison, for you, what have you learned from sports? What have you learned from unified sports? What do you believe you can take with you the rest of your life?
There's a lot. There's definitely a lot. But I think the meaningfulness of just like inclusion and just like being able to include others no matter like ability levels, skill levels, and just like include everyone and always like have a cheerful attitude and mood and never try to see the downside of anything. And okay, so what if you missed a basket in that game? It's okay. You can go and make it up in another one. Or like if you trip and fell, it's okay. We all do it. Everyone makes mistakes and you just kind of got to learn from those mistakes. And it's just like the building like bricks to each of the stories.
I can speak from experience. I have tripped and fell many a times. Yeah. I have missed many a shots, many a free throws. So I certainly understand that. Daniel, from your perspective, what big lesson have you learned from participating in unified sports?
What big lesson definitely a big lesson is not to mess with people who wants to really talk smack.
What about the people who talk smack?
I say I would literally look at him and say, "You motivate me," and walk away.
Motivation. Addison, what about motive? It seems like you agree. I believe you agree. What is a motivating factor for you?
I think just failing. Honestly, like if I fail at something, then I'm like, okay, well, I failed at it, but now I got to prove to myself that I can go back and I'm able to do it, and I'm able to do it 10 times better. And yeah, I think that's about it. Failure.
Failing is certainly something that we all experience. It could make us all better. I want to, you guys have used some key words here. We talked about failure. We talked about motivation. These are key words. Talk to us about Spread the Word. What exactly is that program?
So that program is to spread the word to include everybody with a disability to be involved in stuff that their peers are involved in. And I know that because I do, and because that's what this is about.
And Spread the Word, the day of activation is March 1st. And Special Olympics is encouraging everyone to go to spreadtheword.global to go ahead and take the pledge. Addison, can you just talk about the importance and the power of words and things that we say?
I think the power of words is so much more meaningful and like impactful than a lot of people may even realize, just because what you might think not hurt you by saying it could really hurt someone else and tear them down. And so just kind of like trying to uplift someone by saying those kind words or just bringing them along and trying to just put a little bit more joy in their life could mean a lot more and impact them in a lot different ways than you may actually like expect or think. Like it could save someone's life, which is like a complete dramatic and far end of it. But it might be that case for that. Or like if you say something like you suck, that could really impact them and hurt them in a way that you might not ever realize because of a way that they could be struggling.
Daniel, what are your thoughts? Can you just give us your opinion on the power of words? I'm sure people have said things to you. You've heard things that hurt, that don't feel good. Can you just talk to us about the power of words and why people need to think about what they say?
Yes, definitely. Like I mentioned, people can talk smack against people. I prefer them not to, because that definitely can not just motivate, that can help people just trail a path that you never thought to be traveled. And the power of words just, well, power of words is you need, if you're going to say, I can do this, then do it. If someone says, you cannot do this, just go ahead and prove them wrong. You know what you need to do to not just prove to those people that talk smack against you, you are a different person than they are. You need to use those words and just say, I'm not letting these words in my head. Keep moving, keep powering through every minute of your life, and someday you will become the greatest you will ever want to become.
I think both you and Daniel and you, Addison, are already great. As youth ambassadors, like there's so much negativity that's in the world. You turn on the news or you scroll through social media. You both are doing an excellent job to change people's perspective. What do you think we all need to do better as people, as individuals? You know, it's a lot of things are so negative, but you both are putting positivity into the world. What do we need to learn from you guys?
stay positive. Stay positive indeed, because yes, we've seen violence and all of those bad things we need to not mention at all. For example, drinking. And I just think that it is not what we need to do. We need to have a head straight, keep your mind on your work, and just give all of you and just find a way to make your dreams come true.
Kind of to like bounce off what Daniel said, but just kind of like open your eyes and see like, yeah, this world's not perfect. Great. People make mistakes. That's okay. I make mistakes and I'm still human. And just like that there's so much greatness in people that a lot of that you might not realize, like someone it just couldn't, like I said, impact them a lot. And so just like having more of a positive outlook on life and not trying to always tear other people down and look at those negatives and just see the great and just how much you can impact someone solely by yourself.
It's the power of words and what we can all do. I think sometimes it's too easy for us to point the finger and look at what somebody else did or what we think they should do, and we forget to look in the mirror and think about what we can change to help ourselves and to help others. Daniel, what would you say to listeners right now who aren't involved in Special Olympics? What would you say to encourage them so they can be a part of the family as well?
Well, keep finding a way into what you want to be. If you want to be who you're not, then this is a way to do it. Getting involved in Special Olympics is a good way to find your purpose and your purpose of life.
And what about you, Addison? What would you say to someone? Special Olympics has events all over the country, all over the world, world games, USA games, there are state programs, city programs. What would you say to someone about getting involved?
Get involved 100%, like no questions asked. It's been like the most meaningful and impactful experience that I think I'm ever going to go through in my life. Like it has shaped me to become who I am today. I 100% believe that, just because there's so much that you don't know that goes on, and just like being able to go to these events is like so impactful. Like being able to see the smile you can put on someone's face by just showing up to practice or going to help at an event is just crazy, because you're like, oh my God, me just being here can make someone's day. Like that's just awesome. And being able to do that for people like all around all the time, and just like everything that I've learned through it too is just crazy. And it's just helped me mature so much too, and just be able to see the world in like a completely different eye.
I tell people all the time, it's not necessarily what you feel that you're doing for other people, but what you get back in return. Would you say that's the case?
Yes, 100%.
So when we're not playing sports, what do y'all do for fun? What else do you do in Daniel?
I play Xbox, I listen to music, I record for a simulation football league that I'm the commissioner of, and lots of great things. I play sports, like I mentioned, and just use.
You have a YouTube channel, right? Don't you also have a YouTube channel where you
I
talk
do.
about
I do have a YouTube channel, and it's called Sports Main 2022. If you want to subscribe, join that conversation, and join that family. And I have a sports section called Daniel Sports Shorts, where I cover sport, and I also have shout out to great people that can some save lives, some just use their motives that can force you to do something great for the world, which is not perfect at all. If you want a perfect world, then that's going to be a really hard thing to accomplish.
We're going to put that link in the bio so people can go ahead and check it out. Addison, what about you? What else are you getting into?
Like I said, I'm a runner, so I run year round. I run 12 months out of the year. It's like 6 days a week, so that's a big part of my life. And then outside of that, I love being outdoors more than anything. I love to travel. I love the beach. I love being with my friends, and so that's honestly it. Like if I could be outdoors all day, I'd be outside. And then just like traveling, like I want to see the world, just to be able to like go and see different aspects of life. So just kind of like learning all of that too.
Good deal. Daniel, I'm going to let you get the last word here. Do you want to tell all the listeners bye?
And we will see you in the next time we're on.
I could dig it, man. Thank you.